The words coming out of someone's mouth are the least honest part of their existence. We are trained from birth to curate our speech. We use the neocortex thinking brain to fabricate stories, tell white lies, and manipulate reality. But the rest of you is controlled by the limbic system. This is the emotional brain. The honest brain. It reacts to the environment instantaneously, often nanoseconds before you even realize you're feeling an emotion. If you know what to look for, humans are walking billboards of their true intentions. But most of us are functionally blind. You're watching the smile when you should be watching the feet. You're listening to the pitch when you should be looking at the hands. In this breakdown, we are going to decode the 10 key signs of body language that reveal what a person is actually thinking. We aren't talking about pop culture myths. We are talking about evolutionary biology. By the end of this, you won't just hear what people are saying. You will see what they are desperate to hide. Let's start where almost everyone fails. The ground floor. The feet. You've been taught to control your face since you were a toddler. Smile for the camera, don't look bored, but nobody ever told you to watch your feet. Because they are unmonitored, they are the most honest part of the body. It comes down to ancient survival hardwiring. For millions of years, the moment we sensed danger, our feet had to react instantly, freeze, run, or kick. That neural circuit hasn't changed. When you're talking to someone, ignore the face for a second. Look down. If their torso is facing you, but their feet are pointed toward the exit, the conversation is effectively over. Their brain has already signaled the evacuate command. The body just hasn't finished the movement yet. This is ventral denial. And watch for the gravity-defying foot. When someone is genuinely happy or confident, the toes will lift, or they'll bounce on their heels. It's a literal surplus of positive energy, fighting gravity. If the toes are up, they are engaged. If the feet are flat and turned away, you are just background noise. The human brain creates a chemical storm when it feels discomfort. When the limbic system detects a threat, whether it's a lie being caught or a difficult question, it immediately demands the body to soothe itself. We call these pacifying behaviors. Think of a child sucking their thumb. It's a calming reflex. As adults, we're too sophisticated for that. So we evolve the gesture. We touch our necks. The neck is home to the vagus nerve and the carotid arteria superhighway of nerve endings. Rubbing the back of the neck or covering that little dip at the base of your throat actually lowers your heart rate. It is a biological brake pedal. If you ask a question and their hand shoots to their neck, or they start playing with a necklace, or adjusting a tie that doesn't need fixing, pay attention. They are feeling threatened. They are literally trying to massage their own nervous system back to safety. The mouth says, "I'm fine," but the hand says, "I am under attack." This is one of the most primal reflexes we possess. When the brain sees something it doesn't like, it tries to block it out. Babies do this by covering their eyes with their hands. Adults disguise it, but the mechanism is the same. We rub our eyes, we squint, or we do the long blink. Watch for this timing. If you are talking to someone and they close their eyes for a fraction of a second longer than a normal blink, right as you mention a specific topic, that is an eye block. It is the brain's attempt to delete you. It's a momentary refusal to accept reality. You see this constantly in high-stakes negotiations. You make an offer, and the opponent rubs their eyelid. They aren't tired. They are rejecting the proposal physiologically before they've even formed the words to say no. Spot the block, and you know exactly what they fear. Your ventral side, the front of your body where your lungs, heart, and vital organs sit, is your most vulnerable target. In the wild, exposing your torso meant trusting that the other animal wouldn't disembowel you. Today, we use ventral orientation to signal deep trust. If someone squares their shoulders to you and leans in, exposing their vitals, it is a sign of high comfort. But watch the shift. If someone feels superior to you, or bored by you, they will lean back. Leaning back is a power move. It says, "I am safe enough to expose my chest, because you are not a threat to me." It minimizes engagement. Even trickier is the body shift. They might keep looking at you, but turn their torso slightly, toward the door. They are giving you the face, the social mask, but denying you the torso, the true self. Always trust the direction of the chest, not the direction of the nose. This is the sign most people know, but few understand why it works. Mirroring, copying the gestures or posture of another person is known as limbic synchrony. When we agree with someone, our brains want to harmonize with them to ensure the tribe accepts us. If you lean forward, they lean forward. It happens entirely outside of conscious thought. It's a dance. If you want to know if someone is truly on your side, test the mirror. Change your posture deliberately. Shift your weight, put your hand on the table, wait 10 seconds. If they follow you, you have a psychological tether. If they remain rigid, there is a disconnect, but a warning. Predators know this too. Manipulators will consciously mirror you to create a false sense of rapport. The difference is the timing. Natural mirroring is fluid. Calculated mirroring feels robotic, slightly delayed, or too perfect. If it feels like they are pantomiming you, run. Throughout human history, if you couldn't see someone's hands, you couldn't know if they were holding a rock or a weapon. To the reptilian brain, hidden hands equal potential death. When someone is open and honest, they use open palm gestures. It is a universal plea of innocence. It says, "I have nothing to hide, I have no weapons." Conversely, when the lies start, the hands often vanish. They slide into pockets, under the table, or curl into fists. And then, there is the steeple. This is when the fingertips touch like a church roof. You see this in chess masters and confident CEOs. It is not a gesture of listening, it is a gesture of evaluation. It signals, "I know something you don't." If you see someone steepling while you are talking, stop selling. They aren't buying, they are judging. When we felt unsafe as children, we hid behind our parents. As adults, we don't have that luxury, so we build barriers with objects. The classic example is crossed arms. Now, be careful, sometimes people are just cold. But context is king. If the conversation turns tense and the arms suddenly snap across the chest, it is a defensive block. They are hugging themselves for comfort and placing a wall between you and their heart. Modern humans are clever though. We use subtle barriers. Holding a drink directly in front of the chest, clutching a bag, buttoning a jacket the moment a meeting gets serious. These are all unconscious attempts to armor the vitals. If you see the barrier go up, do not push your point. You will not get through. You need to get them to lower the barrier physically before you can change their mind mentally. Hand them something, get them to move, break the lock. This is the only sign on this list that cannot be faked. You can control your hands, you can force a smile, but you cannot control your pupils. Your pupils dilate, get bigger, when you see something stimulating or positive. It's the brain's way of saying, "I want to take in more of this." This happens with physical attraction, yes, but also when seeing a product we love, or hearing an idea we agree with. Constriction, the eyes turning into pinpricks, happens when we see something threatening or negative. The eyes narrow to focus on the danger. If you are negotiating a price or asking someone out, look at the black center of their eyes. If the light in the room hasn't changed, but their pupils just expanded, you have the green light. Their autonomic nervous system has already said yes before their mouth has even opened. Real emotions are fast. Fake emotions are slow. When someone is trying to mask how they feel, the real emotion will often leak out on their face for less than a quarter of a second before the mask is reset. These are micro-expressions. The most dangerous one to spot is contempt. It is an asymmetrical smile. One corner of the mouth goes up, the other stays down. It looks like a half smirk. If you see this on a friend, a partner, or a business associate, you are in trouble. Contempt is the only emotion that signals moral superiority. It means they think they are better than you. Researchers can predict divorce with over 90% accuracy just by counting how many times a couple flashes this specific expression. If you see the smirk, the respect is gone. This is the final point, and it is the master key. If you ignore this, you will misread everything else. It is called the baseline. Every human has a normal setting. Some people always cross their arms. Some people always look at the floor due to shyness. If you analyze a shy person and think they are lying because they are looking down, you are wrong. That is just their baseline. The secret to reading body language is not identifying the gesture itself, but identifying the change from the baseline. If a loud, animated person suddenly goes still and turtle-like, that is a red flag. If a quiet, reserved person suddenly starts using big, theatrical hand gestures, that is a red flag. The deviation is the lie. The deviation is the emotion. When you meet someone, spend the first few minutes just observing. Ask throwaway questions. Establish their normal. Once you know their normal, you can spot the abnormal. That is where the truth hides. You now have the 10 keys to the limbic system. But a word of caution, do not become the person who stares at everyone's feet and analyzes every blink. That makes you the weirdo in the room, and that sends its own bad signals. Use this data to navigate the world. Use it to protect yourself from manipulation and to understand what people are too afraid to say out loud. Most people walk through life asleep, reacting only to social masks. You are now awake to the reality underneath. The body never lies. You just have to be willing to read it.